Have you ever wondered, why do millions of people around the world turn toward one single place every day? A place where kings and ordinary people stand side by side, where the rich and the poor are equal, where people from every race, language and culture gather together with one purpose. That place is the Kaaba. Located at the heart of the Grand Mosque in Mecca, Saudi Arabia, the Kaaba is the most sacred site in Islam. Every day, Muslims around the world face toward it during their prayers. And every year, millions of pilgrims travel thousands of miles to stand before it, circle around it, and worship Allah. But behind this famous black-covered structure lies a history filled with remarkable stories, ancient events, rebuilding, and moments that have shaped the history of Islam. Today, we are going on a journey through time. A journey to discover 10 fascinating facts you may not know about the Kaaba. Some of these facts may surprise you, so stay until the end, because the final fact reveals something truly extraordinary about the Kaaba and the millions of people who visit it every year. Let's begin. Fact number 1. The Kaaba is one of the most ancient sacred houses of worship. When people look at the Kaaba today, they see a simple structure covered in black cloth. But its story goes far beyond what the eye can see. The Kaaba is deeply connected to the history of Prophet Ibrahim, or Abraham, peace be upon him, and his son Ismail, peace be upon him. According to the Quran, Prophet Ibrahim and his son Ismail raised the foundations of the house. The Quran says, "And when Abraham and Ishmael were raising the foundations of the house," imagine that scene, a father and his son, working together, lifting stone after stone, building a house that would eventually become the direction toward which millions of people pray. The Kaaba became a symbol of monotheism and the worship of the one God. And from generation to generation, its importance continued. Today, centuries later, Muslims from every corner of the earth still answer the call to visit this sacred place. Fact number 2. The Kaaba was rebuilt before the Prophet Muhammad's mission. Many people imagine that the Kaaba has always looked exactly as it does today, but that is not the case. Throughout history, the Kaaba has undergone several stages of construction, repair, and restoration. One of the most famous rebuilding events happened before Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, received his first revelation. The structure had been damaged by floods, and the Quraysh decided to rebuild it. But then, a serious dispute began. The different tribes of Quraysh wanted the honor of placing the black stone back into its position. Every tribe wanted to be the one responsible for this great honor. The disagreement became so intense that it nearly turned into a conflict. Then they agreed on a solution. They would allow the first person to enter the area to decide between them. And the person who appeared was Muhammad ibn Abdullah, the man who would later become the final prophet of Islam. The Quraysh already knew him as Al-Amin, the trustworthy. He proposed a brilliant solution. He placed the black stone on a piece of cloth and asked the leaders of the different tribes to lift it together. Each tribe held one side of the cloth. When they reached the proper position, Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, took the black stone and placed it in its position himself. The conflict was over, and what could have become a major tribal dispute was resolved peacefully. Fact number 3. The Kaaba has been rebuilt and repaired throughout history. The Kaaba that we see today is not made entirely of the same stones that were placed there centuries ago. Throughout history, the building has experienced damage caused by floods, natural forces, and historical conflicts. One of the most significant rebuilding events took place during the time of Abdullah ibn al-Zubayr. May Allah be pleased with him. The Kaaba was damaged during a conflict in Mecca. Afterward, Ibn al-Zubayr rebuilt the Kaaba. Later, parts of the structure were modified again. Over the centuries, the Kaaba continued to receive maintenance and restoration. This teaches us something fascinating. Buildings can change, stones can be replaced, walls can be repaired, but the spiritual significance of the Kaaba has remained unchanged. For Muslims, it continues to be the sacred direction of prayer and one of the greatest symbols of faith. Fact number 4. The black stone was reported to have originally been white. Now we come to one of the most fascinating facts about the Kaaba. The black stone, known in Arabic as Al-Hajar al-Aswad, is located in one of the corners of the Kaaba. Muslims traditionally believe, based on prophetic narration, that the black stone descended from paradise and was originally whiter than milk, before becoming black due to the sins of the children of Adam. Today, the stone appears dark and is held in place within a silver frame. But here's something many people don't realize. The black stone is not one enormous, single stone in the form many people imagine. It consists of several visible fragments held together within its frame. Muslims who perform tawaf, the circumambulation around the Kaaba, may try to touch or kiss the black stone if they can do so safely and without harming others. But there is an important point to understand. Muslims do not worship the black stone. They worship Allah alone. The black stone is respected as part of the sacred history of the Kaaba. Fact number 5. The door of the Kaaba is raised above the ground. If you look carefully at the Kaaba, you will notice something unusual. Its door is not located directly at ground level. It is elevated above the ground. Why? Throughout history, the raised entrance has been associated with practical and historical reasons, including protection from floodwater and controlling access to the interior. The door itself has also changed over the centuries. Today, the Kaaba's door is one of its most recognizable features. It is famously decorated and made with precious materials. But behind this door is something that many people have never seen: the inside of the Kaaba. And this brings us to our next fact. Fact number 6. There is no grave or idol inside the Kaaba. From time to time, false information spreads about what is inside the Kaaba, but the reality is much simpler. Inside the Kaaba, there are structural elements such as pillars supporting the roof, marble surfaces, and architectural features. There are no idols worshipped inside. There is no grave that Muslims worship, and the Kaaba itself is not an object of worship. Muslims worship Allah alone. The Kaaba is the Qibla, the direction toward which Muslims face when they pray. Think about this. A Muslim in Morocco, a Muslim in Indonesia, a Muslim in Nigeria, a Muslim in Europe, and a Muslim in America. They may live thousands of miles apart. They may speak completely different languages, but when they pray, they face the same direction. The Kaaba becomes a powerful symbol of unity. Fact number 7. The Kaaba is covered with a special black cloth. Perhaps one of the most recognizable images in the world is the Kaaba covered in its famous black cloth. This cloth is called the Kiswah. It is made from high-quality fabric and decorated with intricate embroidery and Quranic verses. The production of the Kiswah is a highly specialized process that requires great precision and craftsmanship. The cloth is carefully prepared before being placed around the Kaaba. But here's something interesting. The Kaaba was not always covered in black. Historical accounts indicate that different colors were used for its coverings at various times. However, black eventually became the color most strongly associated with the Kiswah. Today, when Muslims see the black cloth decorated with golden embroidery, they immediately recognize the sacred structure beneath it. But the Kiswah is not what makes the Kaaba sacred. The significance comes from its religious and historical place in Islam. Fact number 8. The Kaaba is not scientifically proven to be the exact geographic center of the earth. You may have heard someone say that the Kaaba is located at the exact geographic center of the earth. This claim is widely repeated, but scientifically, the idea of a single center of the world depends on how the center is defined and measured. Different geographical methods can produce different results, so it would not be scientifically accurate to claim, without qualification, that the Kaaba is the exact geographic center of the Earth's landmass, or the planet itself. But this does not change its religious significance in any way. Muslims do not need a geographical calculation to establish the importance of the Kaaba. Its status comes from Islamic revelation and tradition. It is the Qibla of Muslims. It is the destination of Hajj and Umrah. and it is one of the most sacred places in Islam. Its spiritual importance is far greater than any geographical measurement. Fact number 9. The Kaaba has witnessed some of the most important events in Islamic history. For centuries, Mecca has stood at the center of major historical events. The Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, was born in Mecca. It was here that he began calling people to worship Allah alone. And the Kaaba was at the heart of the city. In the early years of Islam, the Prophet and his followers faced intense opposition. They were persecuted, they were rejected, but the message continued. Years later, the Prophet Muhammad returned to Mecca. And when the city was peacefully brought under Muslim control, the Kaaba became the center of a historic transformation. The idols that had been placed around it were removed. The Kaaba was restored to its role as a symbol of the worship of the one God. From that moment onward, Mecca became the spiritual center of the Muslim world. Generations came and went. Empires rose and disappeared. Kings and rulers changed. But the Kaaba remained, standing at the heart of the sacred city, a witness to history. Fact number 10. Millions of people circle the Kaaba in one of the world's most extraordinary human gatherings. And now, we have reached the final fact, perhaps the most powerful of them all. Every year, millions of Muslims travel to Mecca to perform Hajj and Umrah. They come from Asia, Africa, Europe, North America, South America, and almost every corner of the world. They speak different languages. They come from different cultures. They have different backgrounds. But when they stand before the Kaaba, their differences become secondary. During Hajj and Umrah, Muslims perform tawaf, circling around the Kaaba 7 times. Imagine standing in the middle of that enormous gathering, thousands upon thousands of people moving together, men and women, young and old, people from every nation, and then you hear the sound, Labbaika Allahumma Labbaik. Here I am, O Allah. Here I am. One voice, one direction, one purpose. It is a scene unlike almost anything else in the world, and for many Muslims, seeing the Kaaba for the first time is an emotional experience that is difficult to describe. Some cry, some remain silent, some simply stare, because for years they may have dreamed of this moment. They may have prayed for it, saved for it, waited for it, and finally, they are standing there, looking at the Kaaba with their own eyes. The final message. After discovering these 10 fascinating facts, one question remains. Why does the Kaaba hold such a powerful place in the hearts of Muslims? The answer is not simply because of its stones, it is not because of its black covering, it is not because of its golden door, and it is not because of its architecture. The Kaaba represents something much deeper. It represents Tawheed, the belief in the oneness of Allah. It represents unity. It represents worship. It represents a connection between generations that stretches back through history, from Prophet Ibrahim and his son Ismail, to Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, and to the millions of Muslims who continue to visit it today. Every day, Muslims around the world turn toward the Kaaba. Every year, millions travel to Mecca. And the story continues, a story of faith, a story of devotion, a story of a sacred house that has remained at the heart of Islamic history for generations. Perhaps that is why, when a Muslim sees the Kaaba for the first time, something happens that no camera can fully capture. The eyes see a building, but the heart sees something much greater. May Allah grant every Muslim the opportunity to visit the sacred house, perform Hajj and Umrah, and worship him with sincerity. And if you enjoyed this journey through the history of the Kaaba, don't forget to share this video with someone you love. Subscribe to the channel, because there are still many incredible stories from history, faith, and the world around us waiting to be discovered. Until next time, may peace and blessings be upon you.